And Kirk Cousins is going to find a new address soon, and Von Miller is doing his part. He really wants him to be part of the Broncos next season. Wants to be their next quarterback. Let me get all my talking points right here, guys. During Super Bowl week, Von said Cousins would, quote, take us over the edge. Now he has amped it up by sucking up to Kirk on social media. A few days ago, Cousins posted about cereal, prompting Von to comment that he used to eat the same cereal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But this goes on and on. 4 days ago, Cousins posted a shot of a rainbow in the Grand Cayman saying, love a good rainbow, hashtag almost a double, hashtag all the way across the sky. It gets even funnier. A fan pointed this out to Von, who tweeted, you're absolutely right. If Kirk loves rainbows, I love rainbows. LOL. What is going on here? So many things, so many different moving parts, Rob. Should the Broncos be going all in on Cousins? But first, touch on these tweets.
I don't understand it. What? The LOLs?
You don't understand.
No, like Von Miller really like making this kind of pitch to try to get a quarterback.
Via social media.
On the social media
He's not
stuff.
a quarterback. He's a very good quarterback.
Okay, can I tell you this? There's a reason that the Washington Redskins won't sign Kirk Cousins. And they're telling everybody they drafted him. They drafted him in the same draft as RG3. He beat out RG3. They've watched him every day for practice for his entire career. They refused to give him a contract. They gave him 2 franchise tags. They're warning you, something stinks. Something stinks. They know it. I'm telling you, there's a reason nobody drafts a quarterback who throws for over 4,000 yards. You ready to go for the guys who have done that? And they've all gotten big contracts. Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford, Big Ben, Matt Ryan, Eli. They all got paid because they threw for 4,000 yards. Why don't the Washington Redskins sign him? Because they know there's something wrong there. He must not be the guy for them to pass on their own guy who they drafted. He didn't come from somewhere else. They know him from day one. So there's something there on why he didn't have a deal. It's like dating a woman for 10 years. You should have been married already, right? You obviously know that
No.
for 10 years, yes, you should have been married.
No.
But you must know something that other people don't know.
Your biggest Ollie.
So
I want to be with you. I wanted to stay with you.
And the
on
other
this.
on
part
over
is,
to our side.
no, and the other part is, Von Miller won a Super Bowl with stiff Peyton Manning, who threw for 130 yards. Right? They won it on defense. You don't need to have the greatest quarterback who throws for 4,000 yards.
Precisely.
Matthew Stafford is throwing for 4,000 yards. He has 0 playoff wins. I'm saying they have a great defense. You get yourself a good quarterback.
What
who
is
can make
Kirk
plays.
Cousins isn't even a good quarterback
I'm just
now?
telling you, there's something behind it because it makes no sense why Washington would sign him.
You know what, Rob? You're absolutely right. There's something behind it because Washington, before Kirk Cousins, they've gotten all their quarterbacks
Yeah, they
right.
make all the right
So
decisions, right?
there is something that stinks with Kirk. Man, look, I love it. Go get Kirk Cousins. I'm all for what Von Miller is doing. We don't see enough of this.
Yes.
Where superstar players are lobbying for another player that they need or another piece that they feel like if we can just get this. And you're looking at Kirk Cousins as if he's going to be the franchise quarterback. They don't even need him to be the franchise quarterback. They need him to be just who he was in Washington. If you do that with the Demarius Thomas on the outside, Emmanuel Sanders, a C.J. Anderson in the backfield, and in a defense that's been top 5 the last 4 years, top 5 the last 5 out of 6 years, who pretty much are close to that window closing. They need something right now. They need a quarterback that can step in and just do enough. When you talk about Peyton Manning being stiff, you mentioned earlier him being the 10 man.
He looked like the 10 man.
Look, all they need is a quarterback that can put the ball in their playmakers' hands and not turn the ball over. When you look at the Denver Broncos, listen to this. Only the Browns has had more turnovers last year. Like literally, only the Browns. And that was interception. That's quarterback play. I'm not talking about fumbles by running backs. And only the Browns. So when you look at something, a void that they need to fill, Why not Kirk Cousins? He fits the mold of what you're trying to get done. We don't need you to carry the team. We need you to be good enough to where if our defense is getting you the ball back, you can put the ball in the end zone. Kirk Cousins has thrown for 4,000 yards the last 3 years. 4,000 yards this year, and can you name his receivers? Exactly.
You're
It's my point.
speechless.
Dead
It's my
air.
point. It's my point. So
And,
he is right
some
on
of
the
the
money.
playoff wins that they've had.
It's
It's not just on Kirk Cousins.
No, I'm just saying. You want me to name receivers?
I get it. That's one of his knocks. He hasn't. It is, and I said that. I've said that.
Okay.
He has to win a big game. But I believe if you put him in a culture and an environment where winning is that culture, where they are about winning, when you talk about a Von Miller and a Akeem Talib and Chris Harris Jr. and all these guys that they have on the defensive side of the ball, that makes you an even more confident quarterback.
So if he signs with them, they're going to come out of the AFC.
They have a great. I think they're right.
I'm not saying all of that, but they have a right now opportunity to win.
Rob, Greg is exactly right. I mean, come on. Nobody's saying Kirk Cousins is or is going to be a top 5 quarterback. But they don't need that. And I love Von Miller recruiting him because Kirk Cousins is a guy that's been disrespected his entire career, including the day by you.
Why?
I don't.
I'm asking
that's
you
my
why.
question. Why is Washington disrespecting? The players in the locker room liked him as a leader. He did well on the field. He was the anti-RG3, and they keep this. I mean, heck, the president didn't even know his name, called him Kirk Cousins.
Right.
So
What does that tell you?
Remember that,
to have a superstar like Von Miller, who's as good as it gets,
There's no doubt.
recruiting you, showing you, I want you, I need you, you can lead us back to the promised land. And your point about Peyton Manning, that just boasts our point, because Kirk Cousins right now is better than Peyton Manning was in
But
that
I'm
last
telling
year.
you,
and if they won it with him, they can definitely win it with Cousins.
My thing is not that he can't do it or he's not a good quarterback. I get that, but I would just question why a team that drafted somebody and watched their whole career, worked out everything. You notice, Greg, that they gave up on him and they didn't believe that they could make a commitment to him. There's something in the soup that.
Who would you
that is
rather
telling
them?
me,
Who would you rather them take though? That's the thing. Who else?
I like what Washington did. If they could have gotten Alex Smith,
Absolutely. Okay, but they
no,
didn't.
they just saying
But-
I would have taken Alex Smith with that team and with that defense.
But who's out there? Case Keenum, Kirk Cousins.
Case Keenum
Who do
did do a nice job.
You
Look
would
at what he
rather
just
him
did with the defense?
You would rather him?
Minnesota.
You would rather him than
Yes.
Kirk Cousins?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, all right, we picked apart the serious part of this. I want to get back to the tweets. I'm far more troubled by these tweets than all of you seem to be. Greg, what is the greatest length you would go to as a player to recruit another player to your team? Would you hashtag rainbows?
I mean, if that's what it takes, I mean, hashtagging rent. I remember in Green Bay when we had a ridiculous passing game, but the one piece that we were missing was a running back. And Marshawn Lynch at this time was in Buffalo. He was kind of, it was rumored we could possibly get Marshawn Lynch. We were doing any and everything.
Like?
Everyone. We weren't hashtagging rainbows. I mean, I don't think Marshawn, maybe Skittles. Maybe Skittles, not rainbows.
Cereal.
But we were saying all sorts of things in the media. Look, Marshawn, this is a great place. Hey, you want to win championships. But when you're looking at a guy who's from the Bay Area, he goes to a small market in Buffalo, the odds of him coming to another small market in Green Bay, it didn't quite work out the way we would have hoped. But I mean, we still were able to win. But you go to lengths to acquire a guy, and I just don't think it's done enough.
Okay.
And especially in football, because you're worried about getting your guaranteed contract money and your dollars, and you know if you bring in another star, that kind of the pie starts to get a little smaller. The cut of sliver that you have starts to get a little smaller. So you don't see it a lot in football, but I think it should be something that goes on more often in our sport.
All I have to say is if my man is like hashtagging love a good rainbow, we're not going to Denver together. We're not going anywhere
So
together.
you calling Von soft or Kirk soft?
Kirk, a little bit soft. He's a Michigan State Spartan, so I guess I can do that.
I was
You
about
got
to
to
say.
show him some
I was
love.
about to say,
Come
come on,
on,
now.
Kirk. That's not. showing in the
I
game.
like a
I guess
good
he's
rainbow.
married.
I like a good rainbow.
Look, Kirk,
You're not tweeting about it.
you like that?
You like
What?
that?
You like that?
Oh, yeah. I did like that from him. All right.
Apparently, Washington didn't like that.
But they like everything else before him.
Correct. All right. Well, it's a time for the Lakers to fire back at LeVar Ball. Somebody has to. Jason McIntyre probably has the answer. He joins us next.